Dude, the Transformers sucked.
Oh no, they didn't. They were more than meets the eye. It's God created man, and man created the Transformers. The Transformers are like a gift from God, Randall.
No, sir. They are not a gift from God. They are an unholy curse from the beast we call the Desolate One.
I don't really want to hear this, Randall.
The first of the fallen, the spoiler of virgins, the master of abortions.
You know I don't like to talk about dark forces, Randall.
Let me help you out of your chair, Grandma. Grandma, what was it like to be on the holiday side? Late that night, I awoke from my sleep, hearing unknown voices laughing insane.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Real Talk with Robbie and Shane, brought to you from Gimmicks Inc. So, another day, another set of movies. We've actually seen a couple since the last time we talked. We don't know what order they'll be going in, so you may be finding out, this may be the second movie that we saw that we're going to talk about today. It may be the first, but we'll get into that how we go. Introductions, of course, I am Shane.
I'm Robbie.
And if you've listened to the last couple, or if you've watched any of our YouTube show, we watch movies, we talk about movies. Pretty simple situation, I think.
Talk about it, be about it.
Movie life, son. So, I guess before we get into it, we talk a lot on Xbox Live Hangout and stuff like that. When was the last time we hung out?
It's been a while.
Was it when we saw Mommy? Is that the last time we hung out?
Yeah, I think so, actually.
Gotcha. So, other than that, we've just been hanging out on the elusive Minecraft world.
The addictive trap that is Minecraft.
Yeah, the fact that I have almost 200 games at my disposal to play. And for almost 2 years straight, I've been playing Minecraft.
Yeah, that's kind of bad. It's like one of those games you jump on for 20 minutes and 2 hours has passed, if not longer.
Yeah. And it always gives me where it's like the game doesn't want you to get or me to get too comfortable, at least. I got a good set of tools.
Got a good set of talent.
But it's like my whole hotbar is filled with like awesome tools that are like exactly honed to where I want them. And then I do something like die, and I have to spend tons of time grinding, which I was playing with today. I don't know if it's just the way that I load it up or not, but my experience spawner was only dropping like 3 and 4 people and just sitting there. So
don't you just hate it when your hacks don't work right?
It's not a hack. It's the way the game works.
It's not legit.
I didn't break no rules.
Did it spawn like that in the game?
Did the castle we live in spawn like that in the game?
Well,
it's part of the game, man.
Guess you got me there, Yoda.
Oh, Jesus Christ! You gonna start giving me shit about playing Minecraft now?
No, because I'd have to give myself shit.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Speaking of shit,
that's a pretty good segue. Why don't you tell people on what we saw today, Rob?
Transformers roll out of the theaters because you can see a much better movie at home.
Yeah. What was the name of this one? The Last Night? Hopefully it's the last movie. Derek, you kept wanting it. Here you go, man. Here's the movie.
You always wanted to be around when we messed up. Right to your chance, princess.
Here's the movie that I left we've actually, since we left the movie, we've been out of it about 30 minutes, I think. And every time one of us starts to talk, we're like, no. Save it. Only thing I've said so far, I said 3 words about the movie, and it was stupid fucking movie. We always got to go into these with our background and a lot of that stuff. Before we jump into this steaming pile feet first, what's your background with Transformers?
It's one of those things, I never really got into it as a kid.
Gotcha.
It's like I knew of it. I was too busy watching Ghostbusters every day. But, it's pretty much, it was Ghostbusters or Turtles, and that goes into Masters and
right.
Transformers. You see that stuff together.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, man. It was just like one of those things I didn't really get into. I saw the cartoon movie growing up.
Gotcha.
I like that one. I think everybody likes that one that likes Transformers.
I don't remember liking that one. But we'll get to that.
But yeah, I was like, the other movie was the first movie came out. I went to go see it. I liked that one for what it was.
Mm-hmm.
But man, they have actually I don't know.
They've kind of gone the route with the Pirates movies that we've been talking about. We're at the same amount of them.
Yeah.
But
you don't know what happened in the last one. You really don't know what's happening in this one.
I can't tell you what's happened in any of them, honestly. But like I said, we'll get into that. With myself, I talked back, I think during the Power Rangers segment, when I talked about how you could get the one episode of a show on VHS tape back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
I had one episode of Transformers.
Oh, yeah.
One. And I found out it's like the third or fourth episode. So much so when I actually sat down a few years ago to start going through Transformers, like the Gen 1 Transformers, I still had that episode almost memorized word for word. But that's all I had. I didn't grow up with, like, for a lot of the 80s stuff, there's a lot of it I just have no attachment to because I didn't grow up with. I didn't really grow up with Transformers. I didn't grow up with G.I. Joe. Like, I knew of these things, but I had no Transformers toys. Saw one episode of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't even see the movie until I was in college. The animated movie.
Oh, okay.
So no love for the franchise, no backwards attachment to it. You said you liked the first one for what it was. I love the first Transformers movie. I actually really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it wasn't totally bad. Like, it was just kind of cool seeing some of that stuff that they were doing at that time, and I thought it had an okay cast for what they did. But
I think it has some of the best CGI in a movie.
The movie looked good. Well, this movie looked good.
Yeah. But, it's, and then diminishing returns. The second one was
not good.
It wasn't good, but it was kind of a victim of the writer's strike.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of that movie was written by Michael Bay.
Mm-hmm.
And Michael Bay just has this really childish sense of humor that doesn't seem to kind of work out very well. But then the third one, I haven't seen I saw the third one in theaters.
That was the one where they go to the moon, or explain why we went to the moon.
And that's the one where, like, Chicago has been a big deal in these last couple of movies, and that was the one with the Battle of Chicago. Then the fourth one I didn't watch in theaters. I had it on Blu-ray and had it on my shelf for almost a year and a half. Like, I think I finally watched it last summer. And it was all right,
The, what was that? Age of Extinction?
Age of Extinction, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
But
that movie was a lie from the marketing. Because it's like, hey, the Dinobots are showing up in the last 10 minutes just so Optimus can ride him.
Yeah, but...
What the hell, man?
I mean, we could do an entire episode on movie marketing and the deceptive trailers and stuff like that. Like
the Decepticons of trailers?
Decepticon trailers. But, alright, so let's talk about this one. So the fifth one, very, like, disappointing opening.
Yeah.
I think it did 43 million for the 3 days, 69 for the 5 day. It's definitely the lowest of the 5. So America's kind of saying, we're done with this franchise, which is funny because Michael Bay a while back was like, hey, we're done with this franchise, or I'm done with this franchise, but he said that after the second one.
Yeah. He said it, I know he said it last time and this time, so
they keep backing that money truck.
Unfortunately, he'll be
back.
back.
Because they're already planning. Like, I know there's a Bumblebee. I think where I was editing the other show for YouTube, I think we talked about in the last episode we did the fact that they're already doing the Bumblebee spinoff.
Yeah.
Which I have a feeling we saw the gist of in this movie.
Yeah. Which we may have seen in that movie since that movie was so damn long.
Yeah. All those movies are long. Like, they're all well over 2 hours long. Yeah. And there's no reason for smashy car movie to be 2 hours long. Like,
we don't need a Peter Jackson epic.
No. And I don't understand that, why these movies are so long. And we'll get into it when we really start breaking into the plot and some of the stuff in this movie. Well, plot.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I'm air quoting here. But they try to cram so much crap into these movies.
Yeah.
And that's why they're 2.5, 3 hours long, because, you know, they're trying to shove so much of this stuff in the movie like it needs to be there.
Yeah, and that's the thing I was talking about when I actually said that, you know, maybe there was a few good things hidden in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's just it. It's the stories that's not being told. Like, I think Transformers could work as a series.
I could say it'd be really expensive.
Because you wouldn't have to cram so much. Like, you know, in this movie, it starts up with the Dark Ages.
Yeah.
That right there could be a season of a show.
It could be.
Move into, like, their involvement in World War II that they talked about in this one.
Yeah.
That could be a season. Like, I just think it's one of those things, it could work as a series, but yeah, like you said, it just take all the money to make.
Yeah.
But it would kind of save from cramming so much stuff in a 2.5 hour movie.
Well, I mean, maybe it's just the type of thing that needs to go back to being an animated show.
Yeah.
Or, you know, a CGI animated show or something along those lines. Like, because, I don't know, I think it's just moviegoers are showing that we're kind of done with it as a franchise.
Yeah, because, you know, they always say, well, Transformers are made for kids. That movie's not for kids.
No, not at all.
I was like, the language, the action, some of the stuff that they say in it, I'm like, okay, well, movie's not made for kids. It's the answer to the call thing. Who's this movie made for?
Yeah, because absolutely, because it's definitely not a kids movie. I mean, it's, I guess where you get into the idea is it's a family movie, not a kids movie, but it's definitely not marketed and made specifically for kids.
Even the kid that was sitting beside us, did you hear him talking to his parents? Like, he actually said, "Daddy, is this over yet?" So yeah, I don't know, man. It was just like, the movie was just so long.
Yeah, I mean, but like I said, it's the first one. I get that, like, the first one hit that awesome thing. It's like, it's made for, you know, had a very kiddie vibe to it, sold some toys. It's getting that nostalgia factor that kind of hit on those points. But it's kind of like the idea of maybe some of this nostalgia stuff is just getting into that point, because I remember talking about Power Rangers before we saw it, and I was like, I don't know who that movie was made for, because if it was made for kids, you would have less angsty teenager stuff in it.
True.
But I can't really say that it was made for the people like you that grew up with the show.
Yeah, it's like one of those things, like, I guess people my age, if they had kids, they would be like, hey, you want to see something from my childhood? Or close to it. Kind of like the, you know, the parents who like Star Wars and want their kids to be in Star Wars.
I mean, yeah,
stuff like that.
Wrong, but, like, even that point, if I had a kids and wanted to get them into Star Wars, say this happens in 2002. I'm pulling the originals off the shelf. I'm not looking at the trailers for Attack of the Clones going, yeah, I want my kids to be into this, especially after Phantom Menace. You know? And I could see that maybe it's like, oh, well, maybe here's a generational gap that, you know, I'll have my version of Power Rangers or Transformers, you'll have your version of Power Rangers or Transformers.
Gotcha.
And we can get into that, but it's like, I don't know. Just, and you got me. I really don't know with this movie who it was made for, other than just hoping they're going to get the people that paid money to see the last 5 or 4. And I can tell you one thing, it definitely wasn't made for me. Like, and not even that just being like it being a not so good movie. It was just, I didn't, like I said, I got around to the last one 2 or 3 years after it came out.
Well, it's like the continuity in those movies that they try to have, it's all over the place. It's like it tries to tie back into stuff that happened in the other movies, and then like you've got this, like, he's sitting there talking about, you know, how the world is in chaos and there's no leaders, but his daughter's in college.
Yeah, it's not a post-apocalyptic world.
Yeah, it's not like Terminator or something like that, like you would expect it to be.
Yeah, you get the idea that government still exists, outside of places like this Chicago. It's like, to me, where is it any different than any other world that a superhero movie is taking place in?
That's true.
You know, you look at the destruction of Chicago in the third one. It's Metropolis in Man of Steel. It's New York in the Avengers.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it's not like we're watching Iron Man 3 now and it's suddenly like, well, the world doesn't exist anymore and, you know, there are no leaders.
So if we were watching Iron Man 3 and Transformers, would Megatron show up and be somebody else?
I was kind of hoping Megatron would be somebody else in this movie. Maybe that's in the next one, but I'm like, when are they going to bring in Galvatron? But here's like you mentioned it earlier, talk about like not understanding what happened with these movies. I don't remember how Megatron's back. I swear I've watched him die in like 3 of these movies.
Yeah, I don't know. I know that he is the one that always changes. Have you noticed that? His appearance looks different in every movie.
Oh, gotcha. Honestly, I can't tell you. Like, that's the one problem I have with these movies. Outside of Bumblebee and Prime, I can't tell you who's who.
Yeah, I think they're actually catching on to that because they almost did that Suicide Squad type introduction thing halfway through the movie when he's trying to recruit his team that he wants free or whatnot.
And even that was, that rang so stupid to me because I'm like, I don't recognize any of these characters.
Well, there's like one I think I slightly remember.
And I mean, granted, I'm not a Transformers fan, but I'm like, I know some of the names. You can throw me a couple of these names in here. And didn't recognize any of them. Don't recognize any of the Autobots. Other than they're the group that was around from the last movie. So, I mean, we have stopped introducing new Autobots.
Yeah.
But then we get tons of Decepticons I've never heard of.
Yeah, it's like, well, you had the 2 that everybody knows.
Yeah.
You know, Optimus and Bumblebee. And then John Goodman.
Yeah, John Goodman.
John Goodman, the Transformer. I don't know what his real name is, but John Goodman, the Transformer,
one
sounds cooler.
And in this one, you even had Grimlock, and he did kind of nothing.
He was a dog.
Yeah, basically.
He was a dog, really.
Yeah. He was built to be this, you know, major thing in the third one, and then, or the last one, and then, yeah, he's going to run around and play like a puppy.
It's like, yeah, because he's like running around. He's their junkyard dog. He really was, because they're literally in the junkyard. Yep. You got Marky Mark and the mechanic bunch running around.
Yeah, Marky Mark and the Marky Mark kids. God, it was like a big episode of Fat Albert, I guess.
New Kids on the Mark.
And he's friggin' Marky Mark. I don't get me wrong, he's better than Shia LaBeouf.
Well, see, that's the thing about Shia LaBeouf. People say that he went crazy and left the movies. We keep going to the movies, so maybe we're the crazy ones. Maybe he's a smart one. He got the hell out.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I mean, that's the thing. I always liked him for what he was, but I'm glad he's not in these things anymore, because after 3 movies with him, he was wearing thin.
Yeah.
And not only was he wearing thin, the package that came with him, with his annoying-ass family, like...
Oh, yeah.
Like his mom and dad in those movies.
I forgot about
that. Like, I remember the third movie just being like, his mom and dad are in this movie way longer than they need to be. And that's the gist of the Transformers franchise. Way longer than it needs to be. The movies are way longer than they need to be. The scripts are way longer than they need to be. They've been around way longer than they need to be.
So are you saying it's time for a reboot?
No, I'm saying it's time to go ahead and put the toys away and move on to a new franchise.
Literally put the toys away?
Yes.
Yeah, because it even gives it a credit. It's like based on the Hasbro toy line.
Yep. Which, like, nobody knew that. But I think I don't know. We'll get into what they should do with these movies, I guess, in a little bit. But, you know, we've kind of led into this for a little bit. We're almost 20 minutes in now, I guess. So, let's start flaming the crap out of this thing.
Flame on.
Well, I guess before we do that, you said that you had 2 or 3 things that you actually liked about the movie. Let's get that out.
That was what I was touching on with the, like the beginning of it.
Oh, the King Arthur stuff?
Yeah, like I thought that was kind of neat.
I thought it was neat, but I was watching it and I was like, I watched this movie.
Yeah.
Like, Another King Arthur flick.
Where's Skeletor? But no, like I thought that was kind of neat. But that's just because maybe I thought it was neat because of what I was talking about. Like you could expand that and do something with it. I thought the World War II thing, you could expand that and do something with it. Like those elements, I thought were kind of cool.
Gotcha.
Like, that Bumblebee actually played a role during World War II.
And that, what is that? Well, to me, and I'm going to crap on that. Some of that stuff because the opening King Arthur part, I liked it until the Transformers showed up. The first thing I thought was, man, Michael Bay should really make like a Dark Ages Knights of the Round Table movie. I was like, that would be cool. Maybe not King Arthur, because I think we've learned that King Arthur is not a story that anybody cares about from earlier this year.
Yeah.
But, I'd like to see him do some kind of like Crusades epic or something like that, because that movie looked awesome. To me, they didn't, like, even that part, you didn't know what tone it was going for, because it was really serious in that part, and then Merlin shows up, and it just goes silly.
Yeah. Like, oh my god, he was the Mandarin.
Yeah.
He's the Mandarin twist.
100%.
It wasn't magic, it was Transformers. Yeah, we're spoiling the crap out of this, but we don't care.
No, I don't think anybody listening to this is actually going to be like, oh, you spoiled Transformers for me. Like, if you were... One, there's nothing in this movie worth spoiling. Two, shut up.
Well, there's a reason we waited for the old $6 Tuesday to see this one too.
But, oh god, and then the World War II stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I granted, there's part of me that says, I need to go back and watch the first one. I don't. But I remember, like, a big part of that movie being, like, all the Transformers were coming to Earth, and Bumblebee came to Earth. So if he came to Earth in the first one, and all these Transformers are coming to Earth in the first one, how have they been here for centuries or years or whatever? Like,
I forgot about that.
I can't. See, this movie franchise has absolutely no idea what it wants. Now it's like, and we'll get in. I'll hold off on that, because that'll be the one thing I actually think I do mark as a spoiler, but we'll talk about Earth's involvement in this universe here in a little bit.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah, see, I hated those parts too. So, was there anything else you liked that I can crap on real quick?
Well, let's see, that I liked. What was it? The guy who played, he's played in all of them. Well, he played in all of them, but the last one.
Oh,
I just like that guy as an actor, and I can't
remember. Turturro.
Yeah, like I was kind of shocked to see him, but I forgot why he was involved. I know he was involved in the first one, and it worked in the first one. In the second one, no, because I'm pretty sure he took down Devastator with a walkie-talkie.
Yes.
Yeah, and then the third one, I know he was there. Fourth one, he wasn't. So I don't know. I just like that guy, but he didn't do anything for the movie. I just like the fact that he was in it.
Nah, I didn't like that.
You're like, I don't like this guy.
No, I like John Turturro. I hate
what
his
if he would
character
have showed
in this
up
movie.
as his character from Big Daddy? Or not Big Daddy, but Mr. Deeds.
Oh, I'd like it better if he showed up as his character.
He could have been that butler hanging out with the robot butler.
I'd have rather he showed up as his character from Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Oh, yeah. I always forget he was in that.
But, no, see, I hate his character. Like, I think he worked in the first one.
Yeah, that's what I'm
and
saying. That's why I say I like him, because it's just that he carried over from the first, like, everything that he did in the first movie I liked. I thought he was funny.
Right, and that's where that stops.
And then, what was it? In the fourth one, they had,
Kelsey Grammer.
Well, no, it was another guy that was basically playing his part.
Oh, this dude from Community.
Yeah, and they literally took 40 minutes for him to get across town.
Yeah.
Like, it just freaking out and just, spazzing out, trying to be the comic relief, which 40 minutes of that was not good.
Again, too long.
Yeah.
Like, and I thought that there's nothing... Here's the biggest thing, like, and I go into it with too long. One, I don't like his character in these movies. Two, he was useless.
Yeah, this one he kind of was.
They
like
could have gotten the information.
Like 2 bits of knowledge that could have saved him some time.
Yeah, and that information could have already been... Like, there's no reason they needed to find this out. Anthony Hopkins could have just known that information, and nothing about the movie changes other than it's 20 minutes.
You know what it was? It was a backdoor excuse for where's all the other Transformers, because they were down with him in Mexico.
Cuba.
Yeah, it's like all the other guys that were in the last movies. They kind of referenced them.
Oh, gotcha. Still, I didn't need to know
Yeah.
that. You could have just said that. Like, Anthony Hopkins gave so much exposition in this movie.
No,
They
he-
could have just said that
Yeah.
and moved on with it.
He was funny.
No, that's the part I liked. I thought Anthony Hopkins was funny. And it looked like he was having an absolute blast
Oh yeah, man.
making this movie.
He was just like, I get to cuss and be an asshole?
Yeah.
Yes, sign me
Like-
up.
He was just all over this movie. That was the fun part, was actually just watching somebody be like, he looks like he's having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But that's the only good part I can say about the movie.
Yeah, there was a lot of rehash in that movie too. Like as far as sets.
Uh-huh.
Like the end, like when they go into the ship at the bottom of the ocean.
Right.
there's Science that happens. But yeah, it's like that whole set was the last set in Age of Extinction.
It looked like, yeah.
I was like, wow, okay, but I don't know. That was just
And it looked
that was just one of
exactly
those-
like the main throne room on Cybertron as well.
yeah.
So,
I don't know. Maybe all those places are supposed to look alike, but I swear, I was like, I know they just used the set again.
I mean, if they're all supposed to, I guess Cybertronian architecture is just a bunch of robots kneeling with swords. Like, that's just, they want to make certain they've got that in every room.
It's like some of the stuff that you say about this movie. It's like, that sounds cool. And then you see it. You're like, robots with swords, sign me up. Oh, robots with swords, get out of here.
Yeah. Yeah, you would think, it's like, going in, it's like, oh, Optimus Prime is going to tear up a bunch of people with swords. You literally saw every cool thing Optimus Prime does in this movie in the trailers.
For the 25 minutes that he was actually in the movie.
Yeah.
That was the other thing. It was
Yeah,
weird.
he's not in the movie hardly at all.
Gosh, that really was just a movie about the people.
And
And they're
that's my
acting-
biggest thing with these damn Transformers movies. I do not care about the people.
Yeah.
I've never cared about the people in Transformers. The original show had like 2 people in it. It was like Sam and his dad, and that's it. And the rest of the movie's about Autobots and Decepticons. That's all I want to see. Like, I would have rather said, like, the movie I've been saying for years I'd like to see is just the robots. It's 100% CGI.
Yeah.
It's on Cybertron, and it's just Autobots and Transformers. Like, if they just made a movie about that war
Yeah, that would
that
be
led
awesome.
them to having to leave and go to Earth in the first one. That's a movie I want to see, but they constantly have to put these people characters in, which, going in and looking at it, you have Marky Mark, who, I mean, he carried over from the last movie.
Who
so,
refused to call by his real name.
absolutely. So he at least makes sense. He carried over from the last movie. Anybody that was involved with him in the last movie is gone. So
Yeah.
we're not worried about them anymore. You have his assistant, or the guy he's hired,
Mhm.
who's in the movie for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
No reason to bother with him. The girl
Yeah.
was useless.
They set her up and then
Like, she did
We'll see you at the end of the
nothing
movie.
in this movie.
got in the way.
That's all she did in this movie. Like, and it's not even like, oh, well, she had some big part to do with the end. No, she really didn't. Like, it was just dumb. And
Dumb.
and then out of nowhere they have the new girl, who, I mean, granted, you got to have
You're talking about the
the British girl.
okay.
So, who I didn't even realize was a part of this movie.
No. I was just looking on IMDb. That's the girl who played Peter Quill's mom.
Really?
Yep. That's
Huh.
the only thing she's credited for a few things, but that was the most recent thing it had her listed as.
Interesting. Well, I mean, her as uppity British bitch in this movie was not... Like, she just showed up, and I mean, granted, I guess they go into it with... She's got 3 Oxford degrees, and she's a college professor. But they kind of open the movie with it being... she's kind of a klutz. Like, she runs her car into the bikes and all that stuff. Which, going into the whole polo part, why was that in the movie?
Yeah, that's...
There
was two character introductions for her.
We get introduced to her as a character because she's playing polo. Adds nothing to the movie other than to make it 5 minutes longer.
So she's coordinated enough to play polo, but she can't drive.
Can't drive.
One of those things seem harder than the other to me.
It's just, I don't know. But you're right, I never even pieced that together. She does get two character introductions. It's like, they could have cut that first one.
Yeah.
And nothing would have been lost from the movie. They never bring up that she plays polo again. Maybe if at the end of the movie, she has to save something by riding on some kind of robot and hitting something off of the ground, we have a reason to know that she plays polo.
Oh my god, that's what they did, though, with the planet. Oh my gosh, I didn't even think. Why didn't she? Now, see, if she would have thought of that, you could have been like, okay, I kind of get this, because that's just what you said.
Speaking of human characters, homie at the end of the movie, who's like the scientist that works at NASA.
Yeah.
I have no idea why he was in any of the movie.
No.
Especially because, like, they build him up a little bit, but there's the first part. I remember the first time you see him, he's looking at the maps on the thing. There's like a bunch of bullshit going on behind him, and he's looking at the map, and he's like, there, that right there, that antechamber. We need to find out how it ticks. Let's go. And I'm like, I just imagine, like, I about popped myself watching the movie because I just imagine, like, right after that scene cuts, somebody looking at him going like, that's what we're doing, asshole. Like, what's your problem?
Dude made a choice.
And
he made a bad choice.
Every other thing, like, he's constantly like, oh, I don't want to, we're not going to believe in the hoodoo and the blah, blah, blah. It's like, dude, your planet is literally being invaded by another planet of robot aliens. This is the 4th time this has happened.
Yeah, that's the other thing. When are the people of the world just going to be like, okay, enough is enough with this bullshit?
Or not even just, why are the scientists fighting back at this point? We've had 4 movies where the giant robots win the fight and the humans get in the way. Why is it not just all right, let the giant robots, like, why are we fighting the giant robots now? Why aren't we just, here, you guys go do whatever. But no, NASA dick has to crap on the plot of the movie. For what? For him to literally, because even think of what he does. Like, your whole thing where it's like, oh, well, if we blast this thing, it's going to fall over and knock the command unit off, and then it's the physics.
You know what? His script may as well have been like, I need a Michael Bay explosion over here to hit a Michael Bay explosion over here to mess this Michael Bay explosion up.
You know what? I don't understand why we're dealing with all this mumbo jumbo and hobgoblins and hoodoo. We're going to Michael Bay the shit out of this.
Now, if hobgoblins showed up in that movie, that's a movie.
Speaking of, I don't know, in the Spider-Man movie, we're
going to segue and talk about a good movie.
Yeah. Well, his buddy, that you see, like the big, heavy Latino dude.
Wait, are you talking about Homecoming?
In the new movie.
Okay. Yeah, I gotcha.
That is Ned Leeds, who becomes the Hobgoblin later down the line.
Oh, wow, dude.
So, just when you said that. But that dude constantly said hobgoblins. Like, in the NASA douche we're talking about in the movie, I know said the word hobgoblin 3 times.
He's like that guy who's trying to get a phrase to catch on, so he thinks if he keeps saying it, other people's going to say it.
Yeah, and,
he's like, come on, NASA. Say hobgoblins with me.
Second 9, man. Second 9.
So, here's another revelation. We were talking about Stanley. What's his face? The guy I was just talking about in the 4th movie.
Stanley Tucci.
He was Merlin.
Really?
Yeah. I just saw
that.
That
makes sense. Now that I think about it, I can piece that together. That makes sense.
Because I guess if you're going to play one crazy asshole, you may as well play another crazy asshole.
But NASA guy's that whole scene not only every scene he was in, the whole Michael Bay explosion knocks another Michael Bay explosion into a Michael Bay explosion.
Yo, dog.
Since that literally did nothing,
Mm-hmm.
that could have been cut out of the movie.
Yeah. I feel like there's a lot that could be cut out of this movie.
Probably about 30 to 35 minutes could have easily been cut out. There was no reason for that movie to be over 2 hours long. And I'm sitting here proving it.
It was so funny because, like, I was listening to Andre's review of this.
Right.
And he's sitting there talking about how he's like, I gotta get something to get me through this movie. So he goes out to get some popcorn, a drink or something. He's like, I'm just standing there in concession. And I look over in the parking lot. He's like, and I can see my car. And he's like, there's part of me that just says, you know what, man? I could leave right now. I'm a grown-ass man. I don't have to stay here in this movie theater. And when I went to the bathroom, I thought the same thing. I was like, Shane can find his way home. Oh, wait.
You did?
I was like, wait a minute, I drove. I was like, well, he can still find his way home.
And that's Andre the Black Nerd for those of you listening and watching. Not like just some dude we know named Andre. Andre, we want to be on first name basis with you, but
yeah, man,
we got to get there. But yeah, the scissors needed to be. Oh God! And another stupid ass thing I didn't understand about this movie. They make a whole point at the beginning for Bumblebee. They're trying to fix his voice box. Bumblebee, for the last 4 movies, can't talk.
That has been one of my major complaints too, because if Optimus is this all-powerful, can create anything or manipulate anything,
AllSpark a little bit over onto homie, and
it's like Bumblebee should have been talking about the second movie.
It's other than it being a gimmick, which I'm still trying to figure out. Like, there's part of me, you get sound clips every now and then of things like, oh, I understand. I reference that. I understand that.
Like the song that got us.
Yeah.
That was actually funny.
But, which that movie's so forgettable, I can't even think of. Oh, I know what you're saying. But, what was I saying? I'm almost certain in one of those movies they fixed that.
I think they tried to fix it and it didn't take or something. Like, I think it might be the second one.
Second or third one, I thought they had done something to where he got his voice back.
I can't remember.
But anyway, they play the gag, they give him a new voice box. It's Siri's voice box. So he's talking like Siri.
I didn't even catch that at first.
And then later in the movie, he's talking normally.
Yeah, no, that I thought was weird, because the minute he actually talked, I was like, so that whole scene was just a throwaway joke.
So he could have done this the entire time, and then notice afterwards,
he
goes back to doing the other garbage. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not looking for much, but I'm looking for a little continuity in your own damn movie. Like, not even continuity with the last 4 movies, just a little bit of continuity in the movie that I'm watching would be nice.
Yeah, because, man, that's the thing. As soon as you start up, you're just like, you're instantly lost as far as what's come before, and you're just like, screw it.
There was so much. Every 30 seconds that movie was in a different part of the world.
Oh my God, yes, because like every time in the lower corner it says where they are or whatever, and I'm like, I stopped counting. Like, I was actually going to try to keep track of...
Like, how many...
Yeah, because I knew they had actually done it at least 5 times. And I was like, when they did, like, 3 in 2 minutes or something, I was like, okay.
But one thing, and some of that also doesn't make sense. Like, those kids are in Chicago at the beginning. Marky Mark shows up. And rescues them.
Mm-hmm.
And then drives home. To Arizona. So he was just... on a stroll? Like, I'm just going to be bunches of states over. I'm going to be a 12 to 14 to maybe 20 hour drive away in my Jeep. And just, this is what I do. Like, I mean, yeah, but the movie gives us no passage of time.
No, and
It's
he's
like
horrible at Michael
that-
Bay is just horrible at concept of time because, like I said, I keep going back to it, but dude took 40 minutes to get across. Where were they? Like Tokyo or
In
Japan
the last
or
one,
something?
Shanghai, I think.
Yeah, I can't remember, but I know they took him like 40 minutes to get across town. In the Turtles movie, they get out of the snow-capped mountains back to New York City in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Sewer lines, man. Sewer lines.
Which that, I mean, again, you're bringing up the Michael Bay. Michael Bay didn't make those Ninja Turtles movies,
Well,
man.
he was part of it.
That being said, I can imagine that some of that probably rubbed off, but, there's tons of high snow-capped mountains 20 minutes away from Manhattan. Didn't you know that?
No, I'm sorry, I didn't go to bullshit high.
Bullshit. But just, oh God, that was the first movie this year that I completely checked out of halfway through, and I don't even know if I made it halfway. I was just like, because halfway through this movie is a normal movie.
I mean, we're optimistic more than we should be.
Right.
We give a lot of stuff chances that we shouldn't give chances to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one, no.
No, it deserves, I honestly say, I don't think there's been a movie that out of the 19 we reviewed in the last 2 episodes, I don't think there is a movie in that list I would point blank tell people don't go watch.
Suddenly a new contender.
Yeah, this one, no, don't watch it. Do not spend money on this movie. If you need to see it for some reason, wait until it's on cable. Wait until pirate it. No, you know what? Because that's too much effort. Do not put effort into seeing this thing. It's not good.
And don't sit down and watch it. Just watch it. If you want to watch it in pieces.
Yeah, watch
good
it while
Lord,
you're doing
man.
something else. While you're doing the laundry, put it on. While you're doing your taxes, put it on in the background. I wouldn't even say put it on to entertain your kids because they're going to hate it.
Oh, God, no. They'll be like, where's the real Transformers at?
Yeah.
Or just, where's the Transformers in this movie?
Yeah. Why is Marky Mark in this?
They don't know who Marky Mark is.
I like to live in a world where everybody knows who Marky Mark is. But, oh, God.
Why hasn't Bumblebee played any of his music? I just thought of that. That would be a saving grace for these movies. Because you always hear samples of songs. I'm
Right.
just throw out some.
But a good vibrations, man. Come on, feel it.
You know what? They probably did, and I just don't even remember it.
No, because that would have popped me. I actually would have really thought that was funny.
I mean, I really can't. I'll have to look it up to make sure, but I don't think they've done it, but they should.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that could be a 3-hour movie.
Oh, God, no.
A Marky Mark concert through Bumblebee.
See, my problem is, again, that would be really funny. The problem is they would not put it in place of one of these useless things. It would be 10 minutes long, and it would be somewhere in the movie that they should have cut it out and didn't.
Optimus is like, hold on, guys, we gotta go to a concert.
Shoot.
Bumblebee, you're on.
It's just, oh man, I wish it had been good. I actually went into it because I remember, your buddy that does stuff, Tim.
Oh, okay.
And you can give a shout out to all his.
Oh yeah, was it nerdinanote.com?
Yeah, so I was looking on Facebook and y'all's conversation because y'all had a little back and forth, and he was talking about how he won't go out of it, he won't spend.
Oh yeah, and I told him we take the bullet for him.
And I was kind of sitting there thinking, I was as I was reading, I was like, oh man, that's not a way to be, kind of going for it. No, I understand. That is a smart man that has made a smart decision.
Well, that falls into the category of us just being more optimistic, trying to be more optimistic about things. I'm not saying that he's justified in this case.
Oh no, absolutely.
And anybody who gives this movie crap is justified. by doing so, because I don't know, man. Like, I don't think I'll suffer through the next one in theaters.
Oh, I don't think I'll watch the next one.
I was like,
Like,
no.
I will point blank say I'm done with this franchise. Like, I'm not buying this one when it comes out. I'm not watching the Bumblebee movie. I'm done. Because you know what Bumblebee's going to be? Fucking Captain America. Wonder Woman. It's going to be the exact same movie. The exact same movie. Because we got that little glimpse of it. And I guarantee you that glimpse of him destroying that town or whatever in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
And you got that dude, like, I guarantee you the dude that's like driving him that says that smart alecky line, like, we're not invited or whatever it was. Like, I guarantee you that dude's going to be in the movie. The other robot that was with him is going to be like.
Oh God,
I
you're right.
you, we saw a clip of.
Do you know what that scene was?
Hmm.
It was the photo from Batman vs Superman.
That's 100% it. So that you can look at it and be like, no, all these characters are going to show back up. It's going to be these actors, and they're going to be in the movie. Like, that's what we saw. We saw an action piece from that movie.
Oh man, I take back what I said earlier about that actually being explored as a season.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna cram 2.5 hours of that into a movie.
No, it's hopefully it won't be Michael Bay, so maybe it'll be a manageable length at under 2 hours. But I'm not watching it. I'm not watching Transformers 6: The Search for More Money. I'm
Transform
not watching,
into a good movie.
I'm not
please.
watching Wonderful Captain Bumblebee. Like, I'm done with this franchise. I refuse to watch another one.
What was Captain America's group of soldiers with them?
Oh, the Howling Commandos.
Yeah.
I almost said the Funky Bunch. I literally almost said the Funky Bunch.
Captain America and the Funky Bunch. Oh no, you have those guys team up with Diana's people, and then Bumblebee, and it's just gonna be one army.
Yeah, and they're all gonna fight Vietnam.
We're gonna win all the wars.
Yeah, that's what Avengers 4 is. It's just every franchise that's ever made.
Maybe that's what's gonna happen in Avengers. It's like Thanos isn't the real threat. Everybody's pulling together to go kill the Transformers. Thanos is like, and you guys thought I was the bad guy.
Yeah. Y'all have to. And I don't like giving Michael Bay crap. Michael Bay makes movies I enjoy. But
These are not the movies that you enjoy.
this was not a movie I enjoyed in the slightest. Speaking of thinking about it, Michael Bay has always had a problem with editing. His movies are always super long.
It's almost like he's just afraid to cut anything. He's like, no, this is my baby. I'm going to hurt it.
I think that's it. And, you know, this movie, if this movie was 30 minutes tighter, maybe I'd have a little bit more positive to say about it. I don't know.
There was just so many, like, there at the end, I know because, like, I shifted a few times.
Mm-hmm.
I saw you shift. Like, we're just like, God, let this be over
Yeah.
with.
No, I was
There
done
was
with that
so
movie.
many, like, cutaway scenes where it was, like, the pan back to show
Mm-hmm.
you what was happening. I was like, here's a new group of people showing up. Here's
Mm-hmm.
this group of people. Oh, but no, now they're going to go do this, so we got to give you another shot of these
Yeah.
people leaving.
You gotta go
I'm
see
like,
this. You gotta go
Good
blah blah blah.
Lord,
You
man.
gotta listen to NASA douche complain a little bit.
That's a
you gotta
douche.
gotta have weird cutaways to the military, wondering why NASA douche didn't help them. Like, yeah.
No, and like even the whole thing of you know, trying to justify the other ones of, well, I kind of like the Transformers. Again, they're not in this movie that much.
No,
The Transformers that you care about are not here. So
no Transformer you've ever heard of is in this movie
Screw
other
this
than Optimus
movie.
Prime and Bumblebee. No, screw this movie. Like, and I think, you know what?
I think that's a good place
I
to end
think
that
that's a
one because
A great place to go out on it. With a
we've
resounding-
given this thing too much credit for even crapping on it.
Yeah, like we're almost 50 minutes into talking about this terrible movie. So we're going to go ahead and say that Transformers, the last night, the last movie, hopefully, a resounding screw this movie.
Yeah.
You know. So, yeah, I wish that we could end this on some kind of. Well, you know what? I'm going to end it on an uplifting note. We're not in that movie anymore.
Yep, that's good.
So, all right, you know what? For this episode, I've been Shane.
I've been Robbie.
And this has been Real Talk. We'll see you at the movies.
But not this movie.